Coming up, back-to-back winning days, 2-1 day yesterday. Got a big dog in Colorado, plus 200. Gotta love having those big 2-1 dogs. And Denver Nuggets get it done. The outright favorites there to come out to the championships. They pull it out. Jokic, pretty dominant playoff run. What was it, just 4 losses across the playoff run? So one of the more dominant runs we've had in a long time. John, thoughts on the NBA Finals last night? I mean, Miami, they looked good in the first half. I mean, Denver was just horrific in the first half. What was it, 1 for 15 from 3? And then they just had to step it up at all, which they did, and they took care of business.
I can actually say Ben has nailed this series, and I was befuddled by the Heat. Ben just kept telling you guys under, and it just kept going under. Teams just got progressively worse. And then Ben had actually told me at halftime he liked Denver to come back for the reasons he said. They just got off to such a horrific start. I just washed my hands with this series. Miami, just couldn't figure this team out. They actually played better in Denver. Denver was great at home, but Miami put up a better fight at Denver. Nothing made sense to me in this series. So I just left yesterday's alone. It's baseball season. The strength of the NBA, I had some guys saying, you call yourself the NBA guru, guys. I destroy the NBA numbers throughout the regular season. It is the last games of the season. I bet with value. If I don't see value, we're talking about the toughest games to make. They've already played 4 games prior to that. The lines are right there. You need an edge on the line to be successful. That's what I have all year long in NBA. So on to baseball, but kudos to Ben for not only calling the totals, but he had the halftime right. Again, just didn't want to get involved with that game. Yesterday, 2-1 in MLB. And again, guys, you know how we do it. There's a big dog out there. Not scared to take a big dog, although we could have took a couple of other big dogs. How about last night? You got Tampa Bay losing at Oakland. All of a sudden, Oakland, the hottest team in Major League Baseball. I will now officially give KC Royals the moniker of the worst team in baseball. And then you get the Braves, best road team in baseball, go into the ninth with a 3-run lead against the team that can't hit, can't score. And they coughed that one up 3 in the ninth. And then Detroit, after the Braves get thrown out the plate, Detroit walks it off in the 10th. So you had 3 monster dogs win yesterday. Anything is possible in baseball. I want to see where all those favorite bettors are today. All their ROIs today with their minus 270s. Again, I couldn't pull the trigger. Just the Rays had total domination over the Rays had domination over the A's. Just too much for me to like Oakland in that spot. Although the spot below, we told you, coming off that tough 3-game series, and no way to make Detroit. Thought they would have anything. The game played out just as we thought. Braves led start to finish, just cough it up at the end. The one game that we liked was the Rockies. And I'll tell you right now, we like the Rockies again today. Yep. Boston just not scoring, not winning. We'll go over this game later, but that's a game I'll come right back with another 200 favorite. Red Sox were in a bad spot again. We always talk about that Sunday night game, just a big disadvantage, especially when you come off of it and it's your rival, the Yankees, your rival for 100 years. It's the Sunday night game, and it goes into extra innings. Paxton, another real good game. He's looking real good. But Zebo gave us what we thought he would. He was solid. Red Sox just not hitting the ball. We'll talk more about that game. So it's a nice day. Another guy did get blocked and deleted. Coming on my Instagram page when Diamondbacks went down 5-0 and crying. Another 0-3 night. I guess the Rockies were down at that point too. Rockies come back to win 2-1. Guys, 5-0 for 5-1. Excuse me. Arizona broke on top, and then Phillies went up 5-1. Games they aren't 5-inning games. It's not softball. It's not 6-inning games. They're 9-inning games. Just as the season is 162 games long, if you give up a third of the way through the season, bye. I don't want you. But if you're going to break my balls, really, in the 4th or 5th inning, guys, don't become a member. That this isn't for you.
Yeah,
you're a sucker. We bet with value. We bet with value every single day. It may have been an 0-3 sweep yesterday, but it wasn't. And now you find yourself blocked. And I don't need your $39 UFC tennis. Go troll somebody else. We're about winning, guys. It's not. It doesn't. We don't win every day. We might not win every week. It's the long picture. Again, don't talk about the first 4 innings. I don't bet the first 5 innings. If that was my bet, then you could break my balls. It's a 9-inning game. It's a 162-game season. We will crush baseball as we've done every single year. Look, last 2 years we've got off to horrific starts. Why? Because the last 2 years are the worst years on record for underdogs in April. Off the worst starts in history. But we managed to get to the plus last year, and we'll do so again this year. Good month last month. We win Sunday. Another winning day yesterday. We're back at it today. I love this board, Ben. Ton of games out there. Why don't you weigh in, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, I mean, just touching on yesterday's card, crazy games across the board. Detroit comes back big. Phillies come back big. Angels come back from down big. You had that Rockies late tying in the 8th and another late rain delay in the extra innings. Just a crazy day of baseball, and that is a perfect example of why you cannot freak out over a game in the 3rd or 4th inning, because anything can happen. So it's, a long season. Games are long as well in themselves, like you mentioned. And then, like I told you guys yesterday, go check out that video about May. We're transparent. There are 0-3 days. There are going to be gross days betting dogs, but when you're betting with value, you're recuperating more than you lose. The winning days are big days, so make sure you guys go check that out. John, we do have a big card today, a lot to like. First one here is Giants going on over to St. Louis, Cobb versus Flaherty. San Francisco, they've been playing good ball. They win that game. They've won 4 or 5 meetings this year. They've won 5 of their last 7. And St. Louis, they've now lost 3 straight, 2-8 their last 10. Can't really back them. Flaherty versus Cobb. Now, Flaherty gave them one of their wins over Texas in that 1-0 win, 6 shutout innings there. He's been very solid, has had some home struggles. And Cobb, they've won 8 of his 10 starts. He threw a complete game shutout versus the Cards earlier this year. Has had some road struggles, last couple of road starts, 11 runs in 9 innings. Giants are no one in this game. I don't want to be backing Cobb on the road, but even worse, I don't want to be backing St. Louis in this matchup. No reason to back the Cardinals at this point. So it's Giants or nobody, just not excited about Cobb on the road.
Cardinals 2-8 their last 10. Now, by losing last night and the Rockies winning, St. Louis Cardinals have the worst record in the National League. Just downward spiral isn't the word. Flaherty's good game, great game. His last time out, he's pitched much better the last 3 times out. 1.5, well, actually a 1.50 ERA over his last 5 starts. This game is right where I think it belongs, a pick 'em, and that tells you how far Cardinals have dropped. One of their better pitchers at home, and all they is a pick 'em in this game. That's where I think the line is. But I want no part of the Cardinals, as I said. Ice cold, just waiting for manager to get fired at this point.
And we have Pirates going on in Chicago. Pirates coming off a 3-3 homestand, but they are 8-3 their last 11. This Cubbies team, 4-6 trip, scoring just 2.43 runs per game the last 7, hitting 180. Offense not getting it done. Tejon versus Ortiz. Ortiz 2 runs in 5 innings in relief last time out, did give up 10 hits. And Tejon, after getting his first win, gave up 4 runs. He's given up 4 runs now in 5 of his last 6 starts. This is Pirates here. Cubs not hitting. Tejon, lost 9 of his 10 starts this season. Ortiz, nothing lights out, but it definitely has to have the pitching edge of what Tejon's given you. I see no interest here in the Cubbies. Pittsburgh, they've done a pretty good job in these division battles.
Yeah, Tejon's terrible. Cubs have lost 9 of his 10 starts. He's got an over 7 ERA. This game opened at 141. Line now, you're down to 119 at Circle, 124 at Sports, 411. Pirates are nobody.
And Phillies at D-backs. You guys know the story with this Phillies team. Talked about it yesterday. Second worst road team in the NL. to go up big, but D-backs pull it out 9-8 last night. They've now won 8 of the last 9 meetings in Arizona. Wheeler versus Davies. Wheeler coming off another quality start, 100 run and 7 1/3. He was roughed up in his prior outing at Washington. I had some road struggles, did last year as well. 3-1, 5.18 on the road this year. And Davies, they won 2 of his 3 starts since coming back. He's coming off a quality start. He's been solid. This is the 3 teams, though, Davies has faced have been some of the colder teams in baseball the last couple of weeks, so take that with a grain of salt. Pitching edge goes to Wheeler, but it's not too drastic on the road. This is definitely D-backs or nobody. What is the best team in the NL as a home dog? I mean, you got to be enticed by that in itself. Just tough to go with the pitching edge there with Wheeler. So D-backs or no one. I'm not jumping out of my seat to back Davies, but definitely don't want Wheeler on the road as a favorite.
Yeah, Wheeler monster game last time out. Had a little bit of a no-hitter going there. It was against the Tigers, though, so just keep that in mind. Tigers haven't been hitting until they get to the Braves in the 9th inning last night. So, yeah, got to give Wheeler the pitching edge. As Ben said, though, on the road, not as good. Diamondbacks beat him earlier in the year. Diamondbacks, guys, this team just not getting the credit that they deserve. That's why we went with them yesterday. They were a dog yesterday. They're going to be a dog home again today. Yes, Wheeler gets the pitching, but this team now, 12-2 their last 14, batting .320 this week, 4th in scoring this year, 2nd in hitting this year. Record in the National League, sit on top of the NL 41-25. Diamondbacks are nobody.
We have Blue Jays going to Baltimore. Nice AL East matchup. O's, they won all 3 meetings in Toronto this year, but Jays won 5 of 9 at Baltimore last season. Jays coming off a win at Minnesota, but they lost 2 of 3 in the series. They are 8-3 their last 11, been playing pretty steady. Meanwhile, Baltimore, they took care of business against Kansas City. They've now won 4 straight. Bassett versus Creamer. I mean, Bassett, 10 of his starts have just been lights out stuff. He's had 2 really bad outings. The last 2 allowed 2 runs in 15 2/3, 13 Ks, no walks. And Creamer, he was roughed up last time out. Prior to that, he had a pair of quality starts. This is a tough little matchup here with Toronto on the road. A similar situation, though, divisional battle. We're talking about a home dog here, one of the better teams in the AL. Yes, Bassett's been dominant. Toronto, they've been playing good ball right now. Bats have heated up a little bit, but still nothing crazy. Don't want to overreact to what the O's bats did against that Kansas City pitching staff. Doesn't say too much, but still, at the end of the day, this is a division dog or nothing here at home with the O's.
Solid game. I make this number right there. Huge pitching advantage I've got for Bassett. He's been lights out the last couple. And Creamer, who would pitched well prior to the last start, just got demolished in that last one, giving up 6 runs, 2 home runs at Milwaukee. Milwaukee, not a great hitting team. Orioles swept them in Toronto early in the year, so here could be a little payback. I think the number's the right number. I got so many bets today, not interested in this battle.
Then it's Angels going to Texas. Ohtani, 2 bombs last night. They win that one in extras, 9-6, rallied from behind. They've split 4 meetings this season. Berrier versus Bradford. Tough pitching matchups to really get a read on. Berrier in his last 2 starts been good. 3 runs in 10 innings. Bradford only 2 career starts. First one roughed up by the Braves for 6 runs. Then he held the O's to 2 runs in 5 innings. He was originally used as a spot starter this season. You get news that DeGrom's going to be out for the year. Now they're trying to find another guy in that rotation. So looks like they're going to be trying to force him, keeping him in the rotation. It could go well. It could be a shit show. We'll see how that pans out there for Texas. Angels, though, playing good ball right now. They've won 7 of 8, scoring 9 runs in the last 2. This is Angels or nobody. Got to give Berrier a little bit of a pitching edge, a little bit more of a proven MLB arm. Nothing too drastic. Bradford, been solid his last start. See if we can make it 2 in a row, but it's a big price for a guy making just his 3rd start.
So it's 11:25, and we have Bradford in the box, but he has actually not even been officially named the pitcher. As Ben said, his second career start was a little better. His first, he got lit up by the Braves. Berria's actually been decent in his last 2 starts since filling that hole in the rotation, since joining the rotation. Texas hit a little cold spell. Lost their last game of the Cardinals series. They got blanked by Flaherty. They go to Tampa Bay, lose 2-3, and then they got a lead last night, and then they blow that lead. So they've got to regroup and find a way. This game, again, there's no lineup there. There's no official pitcher. We believe it's Bradford, so we'll leave this one go for later.
And then it's going to be Tampa Bay at Oakland. This Rays team, A's team, get it done yesterday. It was now 6 straight for Oakland, almost matching the season win total this week. They been getting it done. Obviously, Rays had won the prior 6 meetings, dominated them 50-13 in those. And yesterday was a really bad spot for Tampa Bay. Do they drop 2 in a row here to the A's? They've lost 2 of 3 now. They are 8-2 their last 10. It's going to be Beeks used as an opener versus Harris. His last 2 outings give up 5 runs in 10 innings. This is Oakland or nobody. I mean, you got a big home dog with a team who's won 6 straight. Important note on this game, there's a reverse boycott going on in Oakland tonight. Apparently, the fans are going to be selling out the Coliseum as a fuck you to the owner. They're going to have 40,000 shirts to say sell the team. So this will be the best home environment the A's play in all season. They've won 6 straight. Going to be a good atmosphere. Don't want to be laying a 2-1 favorite on the road with a bullpen game in that atmosphere. Oakland or nothing here.
Yeah, the game last night, again, a great spot. We need the spot and we need the numbers. We need that to all align if we're going to take a tremendous dog like that. It just didn't. But what Tampa Bay did yesterday, after coming off that big series, they sat Wander Franco. Wander Franco actually has the best WAR. Wins above replacement in Major League Baseball. This tells you what the stats, guys. Tells you what the stats do. He didn't play yesterday. I'm sure they'll come with everybody today after losing that game last night. They had dominated the series. Tampa Bay, best record in baseball. A's, worst record in baseball. Tampa Bay still sits on top, tied with the Dodgers for most home runs. Second in runs scored. A's at the bottom of batting and runs scored. But this is a different team. They've turned it around a little bit. Beeks has been horrible. So Beeks, he'll be used as an opener in 3 June relief appearances. He's been absolutely crushed for 8 runs in 4 innings. And on the road, he's got an 0-3, 7.20 ERA. Hey, big number would be A's and nobody. That's about all I could say with this one.
Then we have Braves going to Detroit. Yesterday, Tigers rallied back 3 in the 9th, pull it out in extra innings, snap that big, long 9-game losing streak. It's Strider versus Olsen. Olsen, 2 career starts, been pretty solid. 2 career outings, I should say. 1 start, 3 runs in 10 innings, 9 Ks, 2 walks. Strider, he was roughed up by the Mets for 8 runs last time out. Team that seems to have his number. 6 road starts, though, 4-1, 2.86. Braves have won 11 of his 13 starts. Even his bad ones like the last one against the Mets, they seem to find a way to pull it out when he's on the mound. I will say this game to me is Detroit or nothing. We saw Braves lose 2 in a row to Oakland, a little bit of a letdown situation. Braves had a nice little win streak going on, and now they're going to a pretty similar situation. Oakland, KC, Detroit. Going back to Detroit here. Wouldn't be surprised if they lost 2 in a row. Just like the losses come in bunches, sometimes the wins come in bunches. We saw Colorado. They snapped their losing streak with a walk-off. They go on to Boston, get a win last night. Tigers, long losing streak. They kind of get a nice rally back from the 9th, has a big momentum flip. And Strider, as good as he's been, he hasn't been lights out. I mean, he's walking a lot of guys, letting a lot of base runners, getting in and out of jams. Might be a situation Detroit can pull something away here. So slightly in here to Detroit. I don't want to get involved with this team, but I don't think it's a good spot to lay a big favorite with the Braves today.
No, it is not. Strider, not that great at all. Mets smashed him as they usually do. Mets seem to have Strider's number. They smashed him his last time out, but Braves pulled one of those miracle comebacks. They were down 3 runs in each of the 3 games against the Mets, and they wind up sweeping the series. They come in off a loss to the Nationals. You'd think they would be ready to play. They have that lead, but they implode in the 9th and 10th innings. Would expect them to bounce back against the Tigers after 2 straight losses. No way would ever lay this price. Again, it's Tigers or nobody. But again, same as with the Oakland. Wasn't there for the wedding. Do I want to be there for the funeral? Both the teams well worth the price as huge overlays at home. The dogs are nobody. That's about I could say on that one, Ben.
Then Yankees at Mets, nice little Subway Series. Severino versus Scherzer. Severino, last 2 starts, 11 runs off 6 homers in 9 innings. Been getting crushed. Scherzer, he was roughed up by Atlanta. Prior to that, he had some 3 quality starts. He's only had 3 home starts this year, but he's been lights out. 2-0, .50 ERA in those 3 home starts. Mets, they have won 4 of the last 5 of the last 6 meetings in Citi Field versus the Yankees. They split 4 meetings last year, each winning both at home. Yankees just struggling right now, 4-6 on the homestand. I think as they're scoring 3.3 runs per game on the season without Judge, and they're scoring 5 runs with him in the lineup from worst to fifth. So Yankees lineup hurting right now, not getting it done offensively. Mets obviously without Alonso. Big pitching mismatch, especially the way Severino's been going lately. Sure, Severino's capable of a good start, just haven't seen it last couple times out. This is Mets or nobody. Big favorite here, but Yankees bats aren't hitting. Mets really need this. I mean, just for their confidence moving forward on the season. You got the ace on the mound, Subway Series. Alonso and Judge are out. I mean, this is just a game. You need Scherzer to show up and look like Scherzer. So we'll see if we get that out of them. I don't find the Yankees an appealing dog today.
Yeah, no, I think the number's the right number. I don't want to get involved in this one. Subway Series. Shears has got to come up with a big game. He's pitched well at Citi Field. Citi Field's a pitcher's ballpark. Yankees without Judge. Totally different team out there. They're bat under about $180 something this week. But Mets just ice cold. There's no way this team was supposed to contend for a World Series this year, and they're just terrible right now. Don't want either one of these going. Maybe a little different of opinion here than Ben. Just would not want to lay this price with Shears, even with Shears around the mound, but really tough to take the Yankees. They're not hitting. Got better spots. We'll watch this one as a fan.
Yeah, going to be an interesting matchup. And just a little side note, the MLB as a whole, very interesting. The two teams who spent so much money, San Diego and the Mets, both just having such shit show seasons. I don't know if you saw what Chris Bassett said, but he was talking about how as players, they want those teams to play well so that way they can get the big contracts in the future. And meanwhile, you have Tampa Bay who's just kicking everyone's ass on like a 30-year, $30 million salary.
Yep, they exactly. Bassett came out with that a week or so ago. I saw that. He says he wants those teams because it'll keep teams from in the future preventing them from spending that kind of money. Going back to the Oakland A's small ball theory, but two disappointments is not the word. San Diego's got bigger problems too. We could talk about that. They had a big TV contract with somebody that's out of business now, and they won't be getting that money. Don't even know how they're going to pay the contracts with Machado, Tatis, and the rest of the guys that they've got down the road. But that's something they'll have to figure out. For right now, they're just a mess. Same with the Mets. Don't want to lay that favorite, even with Shears are on the mound. He hasn't been great, been good at Citi Field. But yeah, hey, not interested in this one.
And we have Rockies going on to Boston, Anderson versus Crawford. Talked about this last time Crawford was starting. He's just the guy they keep trying to turn into a starter, see if he has it. He just really hasn't. In 2 starts this year, gave up 4 runs, 3 and 6 innings. Hasn't really gone too far. We'll see if they extend his leash in this start. He's gone 3 innings in the first couple, and then it's Anderson. He gave up 3 runs last time out. Prior 3 starts, allowed 5 runs across 16 2/3. He's been pretty solid. Held Boston to 1 run and 5 1/3 last year. This Colorado team had that 6-game lose streak. They would win 2 in a row. Boston, meanwhile, 3-7 their last 10. Not playing good ball right now. Big number for the Red Sox. I mean, with Crawford on the mound, I mean, what they have a pitcher on the mound who might not go 3 innings and they're a 2-1 favorite. It just does not make sense. This is a pitching edge to Anderson. Sure, you could say lineup edge and team edge to the Red Sox ever so slightly. Give them the extra credit you want to give them for being at home, but that's a big number for a guy who's not going to go maybe 4 innings.
Yeah, 3 innings his first 2 starts. How can you not give Anderson the edge as far as pitching? We won't call it a big advantage, but we'll call it an edge. Even call it even. You can't make a Red Sox team 220. Just can't be. 3-7 their last 10 games. In those 10 games, they've scored more than 3 runs 1 time. Not scoring the ball, no pitching edge. How could they be 220? Look, they might kill the Rockies 14-1 tonight, but the Rockies are worth at plus 200. That's what we took this morning for 1 unit.
Then we have Brewers going on to Minnesota. Brewers coming off getting swept by Oakland. They need a bounce back spot. They're in a decent one. You got your ace on the mound and Burns. He's coming off a big 8 shutout innings against Baltimore. You have Lopez going for Minnesota. He's coming off a quality start, but he's just been horrible at home. 2-1, 6.11 in his 6 home starts. Can't really back him there. No interest here in Minnesota. They coming off winning 2 of 3 against Toronto, but still just 2-6 their last 8. Brewers aren't playing any better. They lost 4 straight, and those 3 to Oakland. But this is just feels like one of those get back games here for the Brewers. They had the day off after getting swept by the A's. Burns wants to show up with a start today. Will be Milwaukee or no one here in this spot for me.
Yeah, two Central Division teams, obviously in different leagues. Minnesota 500 ball is in first place. Such a difference between the Central Divisions and the two coasts. So Minnesota, as I said, 33-33, sitting in first place in the AL Central, while Brewers 1 game behind Pittsburgh, just 2 games over 500 in the National League. Burns looked masterful his last time out. 8 shutout innings, allowing only 2 hits, 9 Ks. That was a 10-2 win over the Orioles. Not a bad road team, the Orioles. So Burns looking to get back on track. Lopez, he just gets destroyed at home. 2-1, 6.11 ERA, and 6 starts at home. This is Brewers or nobody for me.
Then we have Reds going to Kansas City. This game can be diced up pretty simply. KC losing 7 straight. Lyles, they haven't won a start this year. 0-13 in Lyles' starts. We talk about it every time he's out. 4 of the last 5, he gave up 5+ runs. I mean, that's just – it's not even like he's pitching just bad. That's horrible. If you're giving up 5+ runs, you can't win baseball games that way. It's not possible. So this is –
That's what you're pitching for KC, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Reds are nothing all the way. No interest here in Kansas City. Second worst home team in the MLB, and A's, if they do any business against Tampa Bay, they're going to be catching them on that regard. So you can't like the Royals here. Lyles being a favorite just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but we're at a pick'em game. This line opened up KC -120 on the overnight. I guess they just keep saying, well, they're due to win one. That due today may be, but they may be due till July. Horrible team, horrible pitch. I told you I now have Kansas City. They're the worst team in Major League Baseball. 7 straight losses now, hitting .201 this week. 9-24, second worst home record. Cincinnati Reds get off to a 7-15 start. They're 25-20 in the last 45 games since then. Even better lately. And we talked about it yesterday. The additions of the pitcher Abbott in his first 2 career starts hasn't allowed a run. Ellie De La Cruz, phenomenal, just lit a fire under this team. They just look different. There's a swagger now about them. Cincinnati could be a problem. The problem is pitching, and it'll be pitching again today with Williamson on the mound. But when you got a pitcher on the other side of the team the team hasn't won a start, he's 0-10. His personal record with the team being 0-13, 6.84 ERA. His ERA 8.22 in his last 5 starts. I mean, look, no reason for we took even on this game with the Reds. I can get a red-hot Cincy team, pardon the pun, against the worst team in the league with no big pitching edge either way. I'll take the Reds. That's what we did today.
Yep, great spot for Cincy. Next game here is Washington going on to Houston. Houston, they're having their lows right now as well. They've lost 5 of 6, scoring just 3.3 runs per game, hitting barely over 200 this week. Nats come in. They snapped a losing streak with a win over Atlanta on Sunday. Corbin versus Brown. Corbin's been pretty good on the road, been bad on the road, 2-2, 5.72. He is coming off a quality start versus the D-backs, best team in the NL. Prior to that, gave up 10 runs and 11 1/3. Meanwhile, Brown, 3 of his last 4 starts been quality starts. This is I'm not jumping out of my seat to be a part of Corbin on the road, but for a team who's lost 5 of 6 here at Houston, they've had a lot of injury issues all season long, and it just keeps on going. Offense isn't going right now. This is Nats or no one. That's a big price there for Washington.
Absolutely. This similar situation is Red Sox. So Nationals and Rockies, 2 worst teams in the National League. I know Cardinals have the worst record, but I got to say they're still better than the Nats and the Rockies. Going on the road. Nationals do play a little better on the road. But again, Red Sox not scoring, not winning. Same story for the Astros. Now dropped 5 of their last 6, and they're scoring, what do we got here? 3.33 runs a game, batting .207 this week. Remember, Yordan Alvarez, he's on the injured list. That's the best bat in the lineup game. Just too big of a number here. There is no way that the Stros should be a 255 favorite in this game.
And we're going to have Marlins going on to Seattle. Cabrera on the bump here for Miami. A guy I like to back. He's won 8 of his last 11 starts. In the last 2, just 1 run in 11 innings versus KC and Oakland. That's just he's just a good, bad team pitcher. Pitches well against some of these bad teams. The Seattle offense, they're right there in bottom 5. So you could chalk it up as another good matchup for him. He has had some road struggles, 0-4, 5.91 in 7 starts. And then Kirby, who's been really, really good this year. Just last couple of starts, not as much. What is it now? 12 runs, 23 hits, and 16 in a third. So a guy who was lights out for the first 80% of the season, last couple times out, but a little shaky. Marlins team playing well. They're 8-2 their last 10. Seattle is 8-3 their last 11 home games. But Kirby gets the pitching edge. Not too drastic here. Not enough for this price. Miami, the hotter team right now. Give me Marlins in this matchup or nothing.
Yeah. 2 of the 3 starts, he was absolutely destroyed. We were against him in the one with Pittsburgh. He got buried 7 for 7 runs. They hit 4 home runs off of him. Then he throws a shutout against the Yankees, the game that went to extra innings, that they won 1-0. And then he gets bombed again at San Diego, a pitcher's ballpark. So Kirby, not too long ago, was 5-2 with a 2.65 ERA. And here he is now, 4 starts later, 5-5, 3.50. That tells you how he's going lately. We were on the Marlins last night. I expect a little bounce back after an 8-1 beatdown. Kirby hasn't been great. The only thing that troubles me is a little bit. Cabrera leaves the last game with a blister on a finger, so we're a little worried about that. But at the number, Marlins worth to take. They've been red hot.
Speaking of red hot, how about this Cleveland team? Now they're coming for this AL Central division. They've won 6 of 8. They're crushing 321 this week, scoring 5.5 runs per game when their offense was non-existent for most of the season. Padres coming in. They snapped a 3-game win streak. They've been hitting a bit better as well, 294 this week. Bibby versus Musgrove. Musgrove starting to look back to the pitcher he was. Allowed 1 run in 5 innings last time out against Seattle. Prior to that, 1 run in just each of his last 3 starts. Bibby's been a solid pitcher for them. 1 earned run in his last time out against Boston. He's coming off, he had 3 straight quality starts back earlier in May. This is a San Diego team who's been turning around a little bit with the bats, but not as much as Cleveland has. Big number here for Musgrove would be Guardians or nothing from there. They're hitting 320 this week. It's a big dog price.
Yeah, so let's look under the stats a little bit here. We've got in the preview, Padres now hitting a little better. They're scoring 6.5 runs a game. Their last 4, 294 this week, coming off 3 games at Coors. That'll always factor stats. Also in the preview, you get the Guardians now 15-17 on the road, scoring 4.2 runs per game. They score more on the road than they do at home. Petco is a pitcher's ballpark. Padres, they don't score as much at home. They're scoring just 3.6 runs per game at home. And Padres actually just 15-18. Their record says 17-18 at home, but that counts 2 games in Mexico where they actually did a lot of scoring. They didn't do that scoring in Petco. Love the way Musgrove's look. Now he's looking back to the pitcher that he was. But as said, been solid. No way do I make this game a 165 favorite for San Diego. Guardians are nobody. As we said, we were making fun of them. Ramirez hurt us last week, hit 3 homers in 1 game, ignited the team. Everybody hitting on the team now. Cleveland getting those bats going. San Diego, not so much. Cleveland are nobody.
Then we have White Sox going on to LA. Lynn versus Gonsolin. Lynn just tough to back, but White Sox been winning with them. They won 5 of his last 7 starts. Last 2 though, 13 runs, 4 homers, and 9 innings. Worst thing you could do is go to Dodger Stadium, team that leads the ML in home runs. And then you have Gonsolin on the mound, coming off a pretty rough start against Cincinnati, one of the winners we had that last week. Give up 4 runs in 5 innings there. Prior to that, just 4 runs in 21 2/3. He's been pretty solid. Seems like a pretty good bounce back situation here for Gonsolin, getting the White Sox coming into town. White Sox, they've now lost 3 of 4, scoring 2 runs per game, hitting 205 this week, just 12-21 on the road. Dodgers best NL home record, 20-10. This is ace on the mound for a bounce back opportunity there for LA. Lynn, who I don't know how they've been winning some of these starts, but he's been getting cracked, going around to a team who's been killing the home run ball. This is No, I don't want to say Dodgers or nothing, but I don't want any part of the White Sox in this game. This is a good bounce back spot both for Gonsolin and the Dodgers.
You know, you guys that watch us, we keep talking about this White Sox team. Every time they think they're starting to bounce back and turn the corner, they go and blow a game like they did on Sunday to the Marlins, a game that's supposed to put in their back pocket. Now they got to go to L.A. L.A. comes home off a bad road trip. All of a sudden, find themselves 4 games behind the D-backs. This is the first game. Dodgers got to right that ship. 4 games. Look, we're still early in the season. A lot of baseball to play. But Dodgers right now, they know they need a win. Just as Ben said, they got to get right today against Lynn. Lynn gives up the gopher ball. Dodgers tied for the league lead with home runs. 3rd in scoring. Gonsolin on the mound. Got to get this W. I love me some Dogs. Just don't love the White Sox in this spot.
And that's the MLB card, guys. Nice 15-game card. A lot of value, a lot of big dogs, some nice divisional matchups in there as well. And like Sean said, a lot of bets out today. Going to possibly be some more added throughout the day. If you guys haven't before, go to the How to Beat the Bookie website, howtobeatthebookie.com, or download the app. You guys can get all the information there all throughout the week, get access to John's ratings, previews on all these games. John, a couple of winning days in a row. Had a little bit of a rough week last week, but turnaround's been there. Sunday, Monday, good days, and good opportunity to keep it going today.
162 game season. It's a long season.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, you got to stick with it. Sometimes it's brutal. You're betting dogs. You're like, oh, not this team again. But it's day in, day out. Same thing as, like I said, a microcosm. Don't DM me on Instagram 4 innings into the game. You're losing all 3 games. You got to wait till they're over. I don't want you to DM me even after they're over. But especially during half the game. We're a third of the way through the season. A lot of baseball to play. We'll just keep pounding away. We'll take our value with our dogs. We'll wind up on top as we do every year and roll right into NFL, which all of a sudden, once NBA ends, we start turning the page, and NFL's only just a couple of months away. But we'll concentrate on baseball. I've already bet 6 games today. I don't like to bet that many games, but when it calls for it, it calls for it. So for you guys that were crying, members that were crying on Sunday, we deserve more than one. It's not what you deserve. I wish I could bet every game if it had an edge. When we feel we have an edge, the more bets we make, the more chance we have to win that on games with an edge. But if I don't have an edge, we're not just going to throw out games just to make just because you deserve it. We're going to put a bet on games that we like. Today I like a bunch, and this is how the card is. Yesterday, an 8-game card, we bet 3 games. Sunday, a full card, we bet 1 game. Today, 6 games, and I still got another couple of leans. We'll see how it goes, Ben. Hopefully, we're here tomorrow pounding our chest, and we'll see how this all matriculates.
Yep, guys, 6 bets. If you guys don't want to miss it, you guys know where to go to find it. For all you guys who've been tuning in, appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all that to help grow the show. And we'll keep coming back Monday through Friday. These are up about 1 o'clock Eastern, sometimes a little earlier. John, let's keep making some money. A couple of good days in a row.
Let's make some money.